Good afternoon. This is
18th.
June the 18th, Monday. It's at 6:15 in the afternoon. This is me and the Finance Committee. My name is Tom Kendall, Chairman of the committee. To my right, Mr. Todd Sievert, member of the committee, and to my left, Mr. John Switzer, also a member of the committee. We have one item coming before Finance this afternoon, so Mr. Titterington, will you please lead us in that discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You have a report from staff recommending, that you recommend to council the approval of a small business development revolving loan to ADM Real Estate Holdings. They are asking for $50,000 out of a $61,500 project to make exterior repairs and improvements to the Wasserman Building, which is located at 9 to 11 East Main Street. The Loan Review Committee met last week and made a unanimous recommendation for approval. They also recommended that you consider emergency legislation to expedite the closing. The review committee approved the following terms. The total project cost is $61,500. The loan principal of $50,000 with a repayment term of 20 years. Monthly principal and interest payments, there are no deferrals. 3% annual simple interest with full collateral based on a second mortgage on the building as well as personal guarantee. Again, they are recommending emergency legislation. I will note that the personal guarantee portion is a small portion that gives us 100% coverage, and that you should probably expect at some later date when the loan to value ratio works out, then there probably will be a request by the borrower to remove the personal guarantee portion. That will not happen. We would not forward this for recommendation until there's enough in the second mortgage to cover our remaining balance position. Speaking of balances, the Small Business Development Revolving Loan does have sufficient resources, fund balance, to support this loan. The $50,000 is within the general guidelines and policy as well as the 3% interest.
Okay. And I might add, as a member of that committee, they do have commitments from their current leasees for longer term
Correct. They have two
agreements.
tenants, and they have several months, if not years, left on their
Right.
leases, and they are looking forward to, primarily there's some roofing repairs as well as some replacement and finish work on the cornices on the third floor around the building. I believe as part of this project, they will also be power washing the outside, similar to what the Thrush and Family Abuse Shelter property did, to see if, what that will look like. Possible repainting, but they don't want to repaint unless they feel they have to. Otherwise, they would leave it exposed. The Planning Commission did approve that work because it is part of the historic downtown and requires historic review.
Personally, I was impressed with his plans and desire to really get that building back in shape again. So, but John, any questions or?
Yeah, I do. Is that building all rented out, or are the second or
The
third
first floor
floors?
Just first.
is, yes. The second floor is in, I think the shell is in pretty good shape. Third floor needs a lot of work. The roof, it is sealed.
Mhm.
You might recall that probably 12 years ago is when The roof collapsed from the big snowstorm that we had. But that exposure has been sealed off. It just has not been built up yet.
Did we loan any money on that when the ceiling collapsed or the roof collapsed?
Oh, I don't
I
believe
didn't
it.
think we did.
It's conveyed since then, right? It was a
It's-
different
It's
owner.
had several owners
Yeah.
since then, I believe.
Well, if, John, I believe he had said that one of their tenants wants to expand and would like to expand into the other tenant's portion, and the other tenant has talked about wanting to move to the second floor.
That's right.
So,
Good news.
yeah, it really
Really
is, so.
I don't know.
Anything else, Todd?
Not related to this, I think this is fine, that's good. What do we use as an appraisal value? Do we use courthouse or do we have independent appraisers?
We do not hire our own appraiser. Typically, we'll go with the assessed values.
So if we're going to remove the personal guarantee once there's sufficient equity, that's going to be based upon the courthouse value? Okay, well, I'm just, because there's probably a 15% spread between those two. So if we're going to do it based upon courthouse, then we'll never have a problem with equity if that's what we're using. And that's generally what we're using? Yeah,
Most of the time, that is what we use.
okay.
Occasionally, when there's a bank involved, we also have an appraisal that the bank requires.
Yeah, but we wouldn't require them to get a bank appraisal to do a removal of personal guarantee. So we're just going to do that once there's sufficient equity based upon courthouse value, right? Okay, yeah, so we should be fine with that.
It'll typically be at a point when they've paid down enough of the principal on the loan.
Right. Okay. No, I don't have
Is this
that.
a local landlord?
He owns at least one other property.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his residence is, but he's,
It's not a deal breaker, it's just a curiosity thing.
Okay. Anyone else in the audience? John?
Let's move forward with emergency.
I'm good with it.
Right, it's unanimous, let's go forward.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned.